mailman. Not the mailman. Not the mailman. Ah! It's here! It's here! It's here! Happy Sunday, everybody! It is about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It's kind of hot out here today. Oh, you hear the thunderstorms in the background? It has been crazy weather all week. Crazy wind, crazy rain. Yesterday we didn't have any rain, so excited because I got to get into my garden, and I had just gotten all of my Migardener seeds the day before. So let me show you what I did this week, or yesterday. Here, we take a quick look before you even walk in. These are the tomatoes from the vertical garden, and they're doing incredibly well. My tomato wall, however, has crashed and burned. I wasn't quite sure why or what had happened. It is still producing some tomatoes, but what I did was I emptied one of my older buckets, the buckets that had the carrots in it. I emptied that soil into these beds over top of the bamboo mulch that I had in here, so I'm hoping that'll create kind of a nice rich soil. And what I did was I sprinkled the wildflower seeds that I had gotten from Migardener and put those all in here in front of the tomatoes. But you can see this tomato wall is just about done. And down here, everything looks really kind of sad and eaten. Over here in my very lush, healthy tomato plants that I had, which these plants are actually the sweet cherry. These came from tomatoes that fell off of my original sweet cherry bush that I had planted in the beginning. So I knew from the look of the plant that I had one of these little guys in here eating it, and I just couldn't find it. They get so big so quick, and here he is sitting right on top. He's been eating this whole plant. This is my best plant, my best tomatoes. And he's here. He's back. These things are vicious. So I got rid of him, and I hope that there isn't another one on there. I looked very closely and didn't see one. So he may have also been the same worm that traveled over from the tomato wall. I don't know, but where there's one, there's usually more, so I'm keeping a close eye. Close eye. Okay, so I'm going to be putting the eggplant bush into the throwaway garden, which I put the celery in there over the week, and the bunny's already eaten most of it. These are the beefsteak tomatoes, and I think I'm very close to getting flowers somewhere. Not quite sure if those are flowers or just new leaves, but I'm excited about that. These are just the other cherry tomato plants. I have been able to somehow maintain, although I thought I had 6 and I only count 5, my Romas, and this one here, I'm just going to let try. It's the biggest one I've ever had, so I'm going to see if it'll actually ripen. So far, since I moved the tomato plants over here, I haven't had the same problem with the rats stealing my tomatoes. We did give the lemon balm a huge haircut, and I think that's exactly what it needed, because now it's finally growing back green, and you can see all the tiny little plants that are coming up from the bottom. So that's good. The pepper plants continue to grow, and they continue to flower, and I didn't see any. Let's just take a peek. Oh, there's one. But this is what I have been finding in the mornings. So I'm hoping that some of these flowers will actually turn to peppers. I don't know. I haven't watered the plants in a very long time because of all the rain, and I think that the soil just got too wet. Over here, the dill is coming up slowly out of all of those plants. I do have a few survivors, which is usually what happens. I plant like hundreds of them, and I get 1 or 2 plants if I'm lucky. I don't know why I have such a hard time, but then usually when that plant takes off, it usually does very well. So this was kind of fun. Goodwill opened up this week, so I got to get in and have some fun. I picked up these little boots for $4, and that was just a little coffee grind that I put there last night to keep the squirrel from digging them out. And I put the wildflowers in there also, so we'll see if those sprout, and that should be really cute. The strawberries, I'll show you here. Alright, so this is what was happening to my strawberries before they could ripe. And my husband pointed out that I did not have these in a strawberry container, and they're not hanging. And so yes, therefore they were getting rotted because they were touching the ground. I made them their own little plastic bib just to try to keep the fruit and stuff off the ground, and I gave them a light spray with a fungicide that I had. So yeah, so that should be good. I got tons of little ones that look like they're going to start, so we'll keep an eye on those. And hopefully we'll have better luck this week. So I moved them, and yeah, they're still just not doing anything, so I'm not quite sure what's wrong now, but we'll keep a look on those this week. The mescaline is starting to slowly take off a little bit, and what I did was I planted some of the Migardener lettuce that I got in these little spots here where the squirrels had messed it up before. The peas are still alive. They have not turned brown yet. I am completely shocked, and I love how they're growing up my little artwork bamboo trellis. So fun there. Look how pretty here. I took a picture earlier this week when a lot more were open, but I've been coming out in the evenings and then pulling off the dead ones here to save the seeds, so that's kind of been fun. These are the other 2 buckets of the same. It is 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so this is kind of what they look like. They do perk up around 6 or 7, which is when I come out to cut my lettuce for my salad. But with the heat and the sun, they are definitely bolting quicker than the bucket did before. So over here, you saw in the picture of my seed haul that I got a raspberry bush. Now, I got one of the last ones because I know a few days later he actually put up a video saying they were all out of their live plants. This was the first year they had done live plants. He did say that they enjoyed it and would do more, so that's great. So this is a raspberry bush. This was to protect it from the squirrels getting into it. So here's the actual bush right here. So, you know, it looked really dead. I know they're supposed to, but yeah, we're going to give that a week or 2 and see if that doesn't come up. Here was another little one of my cute little Goodwill finds. I got both the container and the wood bowl for $4 together. And all I did was take some of these little flowers. These have some really pretty flowers, if you know what this is. I forget what it's called. But it's just kind of like a weed, but they also sell them at Home Depot. But I just pulled those up from my yard and planted that year. So I thought that was a cute little addition. So what I have here is this was the old carrot bucket. So it had been completely emptied. This is all brand new Miracle-Gro moisture controlled dirt. And I will be planting the carrots that I got from Migardener in here. So that will go along with my other carrots. So, and they did these by stages. So, and then once I finish this bucket, I'll probably go ahead and plant some of the broccoli. Here is this bucket of broccoli, and I think what's happening here is that the bigger plants are thinning out. Remember how I had so many? The bigger plants are just thinning out the littler plants. I hope I don't have anything in here eating stuff. Yeah, so I'm going to take a look at that a little bit closer. And we'll see what happens with that. Over here we planted the onions, if you remember right, and they sure act like they're there, but I haven't seen any real activity from them. These are garlic chives, by the way, if anybody was curious what this is. We've had that plant there for many a year. So this is going to be where I'm going to plant. I need to get a little bit more dirt in here, But I thought this would be cute. This is my little herb area right here. So I'm going to plant the cilantro and the basil in here. Yeah. So I think that's it. Thank you so much for stopping by and seeing what I did in my garden this week. I really hope that if you enjoyed it and this is your first time here, that you go ahead and hit subscribe down below so that you'll be able to follow me along. I started this journey about 35 weeks ago, and if you go back and look at my first video, I think I've come quite a long ways in 35 weeks. So I'm really, really happy with what's going on. I bought some other flower seeds too, so I'll try to plant those a little bit around here, kind of brighten it up with some flowers. So I hope that everybody has a great week. We'll see you next week. Make sure to go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. We'll see you real soon.